So we're here today to talk about this 2011 Gibson Explorer and its $2,000 problem. We're going to get right to the point. We're going to waste no time. So, what is the $2,000 problem of this 2011 Gibson Explorer? Let's see if we can visually identify it. We've got a mahogany body, we've got a nitrocellulose heritage cherry paint job, stock everything in here pretty much, some locking tuners that I put on. No belt rash, no, it works, you just heard it playing. So what could be the $2,000 problem? Well, I will tell you right now, we will waste no time. It is this. You can't even see it. Let me put it on the close-up cam. It is this. What is that? What is this strange blue globule? This is a ceramic capacitor. In fact, it is not just any ceramic capacitor. It is the stock tone capacitor of this volume tone electronic circuit that came in this 2011. Now you might be scratching your head and say, well, that doesn't make any sense because Gibson sells $50, I think they're $50, putting a picture up here, $50 Gibson Bumblebee capacitors that are true to the vintage spec. That sweet, sweet tone of the 50s is all based on the magic of the Bumblebee capacitor, which all Gibsons come with. Untrue. Not this Explorer, and not other Explorers of the time period. I'll put in some pictures here too. And then you say, well, if they don't use Bumblebee, wouldn't they use orange drop capacitors? Because that's also industry standard, historically spec'd. You see them all over the place. They're not that expensive. No, they didn't use that either. They used this ceramic capacitor. So why is this ceramic capacitor a $2,000 problem? I'll tell you why. Because this Explorer, and pretty much any other standard Explorer, costs $2,000. I'm pushing back on that and saying a $2,000 guitar has no business with this cheap ceramic capacitor. Does it make an actual tonal difference? We don't need to unpack that right now. The point is, if I'm a person saving $2,000 and then spending it on the good people of Gibson to give me a guitar that is equivalent to that quality, I would hope that they would be putting in the parts that would justify this $2,000 price tag. We see this a lot in modern import guitars that have stainless steel frets or have locking tuners. Gibson, of course, is legacy or historic, and thus we're not going to see a stainless steel fret Gibson guitar, most likely. We're not usually going to see locking. We saw those robot tuners, right? We don't want those. So the fact that this came with Grovers, which you can get on a $500 Les Paul, we're not even going to talk about that as a problem. That's a choice. But having this cheap ceramic capacitor that you can buy literally for pennies, putting up a picture here, look at this. That made, you know, there's no Gibson-ness about this cheap capacitor. So for $2,000 when you're buying a guitar, I would hope that every component in it would speak to the $2,000 price tag. But unfortunately, this inexpensive capacitor does not speak to the $2,000 American-made nature of this guitar. The solution here, of course, is to pull this out, which is what I did, and then I put in an orange drop capacitor. I use 0.015 because it rolls off less treble. If you want to be historic spec, you would put 0.022. Speaking of historic spec, by the way, Gibson historically uses 500K pots. This has 300K pots, and that is also, they're Gibson branded. The forums talk about this as well. Gibson, for some reason, started using 300K rebranded pots instead of 500K. Anyway, that's my rambling. Thanks for hanging out. Have a good one.